So I think when we think about Anisa, the surah, which according to this list here, it was the 91st surah that was written, even though it's surah 4. We talked about Al-Baqarah. Al-Baqarah, I can't see it on my list, but I'm sure you can. Like, clearly it was written from Medina also. And so, like, what happened? Like, Muhammad had to flee Mecca. Remember, like, Mecca is like the holiest place in Islam. Well, Muhammad fled from Mecca and he went to Medina, and that's like a big deal. It's called the Hijra. So, there, that's like, I guess, 436 kilometers. That's probably, I'd say, like 250 miles ish, maybe a little more. So he went pretty far, like when you're traveling by like camel and stuff, because like his followers went with him, and it was a big deal. And so like once they got there, they were super poor, right? And my understanding is they started like robbing caravans. So Muhammad's followers suffered from poverty after fleeing persecution in Mecca and migrating with Muhammad to Medina. Their Meccan persecutors seized their wealth and belongings left behind in Mecca. Beginning in January 623, Muhammad led several raids against the Meccan caravans traveling along the eastern coast of the Red Sea. So he was sticking to the Red Sea probably on his way to Medina, it sounds like. So after the Hijra, Muhammad began attacking caravans of the Meccans and plundering their goods, which prompted armed conflict between the Muslims and the Quraysh. The Quraysh are like the tribes, like the ruling people of the Hijaz. Like the Quraysh are still around, like they're still kind of tribes. So sometime after the latter battle and after Muhammad had successfully eliminated the three major Jewish tribes from Medina, he reportedly stopped making raids on the Quraysh. So like he after that, like he was at war after that. Like he was killing people a lot. So when we look at like this surah, and like we're concerned because like we think that Muhammad might have got mad and like decided to kick his wife out of his bed and to beat her. My understanding is that there are some Islam experts that speak Arabic that can read the Quran and like they can see it when Muhammad starts speaking versus the Holy Spirit. Like they can see the difference. Like he has a different way of saying it, and like I talked about like how he can't handle like this what's being told to him. And remember when we said to the angels, "Prostrate yourselves before Adam," and they prostrated, except Iblis and Satan, and he refused and was proud and was one of the disbelievers. So like I think like when like it says and was proud and was one of the disbelievers, which isn't one of the disbelievers. We've learned he was Kenmin al Kafarina, like he was from where the sinners are from. But like I'm just saying like that I think was Muhammad adding on to it, because I know how the Holy Spirit works. Like the logos comes into into you. Like we say it goes into your kidneys and it goes through your heart. And your heart has to let the logos through before it goes through the mouth. But Muhammad doesn't know how to let things go through his mouth because he knows he's a Christian. Like I think that Muhammad was a Christian like in the beginning of Islam. But everyone was very confused about their Christianity because they were following the Levites. They were following the order of Melchizedek. And if you follow the order of Melchizedek, you have no idea how to listen to the Holy Spirit. Like the Holy Spirit will speak to you and you'll never be able to like actually like go with what the Holy Spirit's saying to you, because it's like, well, no, of course not. So I'm sure the Muslims would ask me like, do you think it's very common for a person to have the Holy Spirit like Muhammad had it? Like we don't think that like anyone has the Holy Spirit like that. And what I'll tell you is that like I think that very few people actually have the Holy Spirit who think they have the Holy Spirit. And all the Christians just know they have the Holy Spirit. They can feel the Holy Spirit. They can smell the Holy Spirit. They know all about the Holy Spirit. Like they trust me, like the Holy Spirit does miracles and stuff. And like I don't think they get the Holy Spirit is basically logos, it's words, it's audio data being transmitted to them. And like I don't think they can understand like how few people actually have the Holy Spirit. But like it doesn't mean that like you don't have it. Like there are people that do have it. Like I have it, and like I will never doubt that I have it. Muhammad had no doubt that he had the Holy Spirit also, and I'm pretty sure Ali knew he had the Holy Spirit, and he probably didn't talk about it because the Holy Spirit like can tell you to say things and he can tell you not to say things. So this brings us back to the situation in which like Muhammad has come back from killing people. Like he's been hurting people. Like he's been like in a bloody mess. Like no matter what you think about Muhammad, he was killing people. He's in Medina at this time. and like he sees his wife, and like she has been spending something from their means. Like it's his means, and she has been disobedient with the way that she's been spending his money. That's what it sounds like to me. And like it sounds like he really thinks that like that is a good reason to beat his wife. And it sounds like to me that like the Muslims have hadith that say like, well, no, like she was cheating on him. So like if your wife's cheating on you, of course you need to beat her. Yeah, you might beat her a little too much then. And they also add an order to it. They say, well, first you just criticize them, and second, kick them out of the bed, and third, beat them, and then but then they add lightly, like you just do it lightly. But there's no order to it based on like what I'm seeing here, and I'm not 100% certain about the Arabic because the Arabic was that hard for me. So I think what he's saying is like, she messed up that bad with my money that I've decided to kick her out of my bed. And like, what does Origin say about like being kicked out of the bed? Cold is bad, like it's that bad. But like for Muhammad, it's not a big deal to kick her out of the bed. She sleeps in the dirt. Muhammad is from Saudi Arabia, Saudia, and like if he kicks her out of the bed in January, she might die. And if he kicks her out of the bed in February, she might die. And if he kicks her out of the bed in March, it's gonna be that bad if she's kicked out of the bed. December, she gets kicked out of the bed, she could die from it. November, it's going to be that uncomfortable for her. Like, Origin, the reason he knows that cold is bad is because it is bad. Luckily, Muhammad was from Saudi Arabia, but like the reality about God versus Muhammad is that Muhammad only knows Saudi Arabia exists. Like, he knows Riyadh's weather. You can kick your wife out of your bed. Like, I'm a guy that thinks about like where like the Muslims ended up conquering Kafarina. Kafarina, like 39, 41, 45 is the low in March, April, 50. Like, this is all in Fahrenheit. I'm sure you're wondering what it is in Celsius. But clearly, that is always cold. Like, kick her out of your bed then. The lows there 8, 9, 12, 16, 19, 22, 23, 23. And it's their dream to conquer Al Kafarina. Like, people that once they go to Jerusalem, they see the old city, they see what I built. Like, which by the way, Cyrus wasn't Darius. I looked it up. Like, Darius was after Cyrus. Like, they're both Persian, but like they've seen it. They wanna own Jerusalem. Like, they know it's their inheritance, and I guess it is. Like, I know it's my inheritance, but like it's not their inheritance while they're following that religion. That's for sure. I'm one of those people that thinks like, I can't believe I'd have to hit my wife. Like, I know I'd have to hit my wife because Muhammad knows. But let's see what happens what he says after the surah I just showed you. Those who are miserly and enjoying miserliness on other men and hide that what Allah has bestowed upon them of his bounties, and we have prepared for the disbelievers a disgraceful torment. And also those who spend of their substance to be seen of men and believe not in Allah in the last days, they are the friends of Satan. And whoever takes Satan as an intimate, then what a dreadful intimate he has. This is very confusing. So, like, I've had to read between the lines on a lot of translations at this point. But when it says, and those who spend of their substance to be seen of men, like, this is like the people that Allah hates. And like, this is a person that's like about to beat his wife. Like, he's already said it. Like, there's a reason that my wife's about to get beat and kicked out of the bed. And like, I think that the angels decided to make him write it down. You guys need to know, like, this is who we used as a prophet, because we were having that much trouble with your culture at that time because you were coming from the Jahiliyyah or Jahiliyyah. I think it's Jahiliyyah. I need to continue studying this, but like, I'm trying to make a point here. Like, Muhammad did something wrong, and then like people tried to change the Quran, like the interpretation of the Quran around, like trying to like justify it. Like, you can beat her then, and like kicking her out of the bed, I think, is worse. Like, she might like really get hurt from it.